If your body has been addicted and conditioned to the hormones of stress, when you're living in stress and when you're living in survival, it's not a time to open your heart. Why would you be vulnerable if you're in survival? It's not a time to open your heart. It's a time to run. It's a time to fight. It's a time to hide. And the stronger the emotions that we feel to the problems and conditions in our life, the more we pay attention to them. And where you place your attention is where you place your... So you're giving your attention, your energy to that person, to that circumstance, and that could be energy to heal. Every time you lower the volume to that emotion, when you catch yourself feeling agitated or impatient or frustrated, every time you lower the volume to that emotion, you'll take your attention off that person or the problem. And sooner or later, you're going to call energy back to you. And that begins to build the body's own field. Now there's energy to heal. Now there's energy to create. Now there's energy to dream. You've taken your power back. You've taken your energy back. And that free energy, when it comes back in the very beginning, is very chaotic and it's uncomfortable. And yet, sooner or later, when the body no longer is addicted to that emotion, the person is no longer putting that attention on that person or problem. And energy moves right into the heart. The person feels relief from the past. And the absence of an emotional addiction is called joy. The body is liberated and energy naturally moves into the heart. It's not a technique. A person just genuinely starts feeling appreciation, joy, a love for life, a joy for existence, grateful for no reason at all. They just feel really good. And the more they can feel that feeling and more they can relax into it, they're converting from that fight or flight nervous system, that sympathetic primitive nervous system that causes imbalance in the body, to more homeostasis, and the parasympathetic nervous system all of a sudden starts to switch on. And we see people, when they put their attention on their heart, we see it on the graph. You see this very low frequency start to rise in the heart, and that's the energy the heart needs to live, to beat. And so all of a sudden you're giving your heart energy, you're giving it life. And then you see the parasympathetic nervous system come up like this, and that's causing the body to switch out of survival. That's rest and digest and repair and long-term building projects. And all of a sudden we saw that, and then it got weird, because all of a sudden the parasympathetic nervous system started moving down, and here comes the sympathetic nervous system starting to move up again. But the sympathetic nervous system, instead of creating fear, instead of creating pain, instead of creating anger or aggression, the sympathetic nervous system is creating ecstasy. It's creating bliss. And the more the person relaxes into the heart, the more energy moves into their brain. And remember those different brain waves that you had no idea that I was talking about last night? Delta is deep sleep. And some people, their brain is in a slow, very coherent level of delta. And they're wide awake. And at the same time in their brain, there's a resonant wave called theta, right in a harmonic with delta. And those waves come together and they start making coherent alpha waves. And those alpha waves start interfering and create beta waves. And those waves create a faster frequency of high beta, and then that faster frequency of high beta goes right into gamma. And gamma is super consciousness. Gamma is awake. And so now the person's relaxed in their heart and awake in their brain, and it feels really good. And that combination synchronizes the heart to the brain. And we're going to practice doing that because we want to get the creative center awakened in you. The heart is the creative center. Remember I said last night, it's the union of polarities, dualities, where opposites come together. This is where wholeness begins. This is where love begins. We start moving towards the divine when we open this center. And it is the creative center. And if you're going to believe in that future that you're imagining with all of your heart, it's got to be open. It's got to be activated. And we got to convert from the sympathetic nervous system to the parasympathetic nervous system. If the body's been vigilant and the body's been over ready and aroused, then you're going to have to work with it. And you're going to have to place your attention on your heart, and you're going to say, of all the things I want in my life right now, I want you. I want to put my attention there to give you my energy. Just like a flower, sooner or later it's going to bloom, and I'm just going to hold my attention on it. And if I understand that if I put my attention on it, I give it my energy, and I assign meaning to the act, guess what happens? It works even better. What do I mean when I say become nobody? Take all of your attention off your body. Stop thinking about hunger, stop thinking about pain, whatever it is. Disinvest your attention out of this three-dimensional reality. When I tell you to become no one, stop identifying with all the people in your life. When I say nothing, take your attention off of everything physical. So if we took away everything physical in the universe, from the planets, to the moons, to the sun, to the stars, to the galaxies, what would you be left with? Nothing. If you're not thinking about where you're sitting, where you live, where you work, where you sleep, you're no longer thinking of a place, you're in nowhere. And if you're not thinking about the predictable future and the familiar past, and you get beyond time, you're not thinking about how long the music's going to go, what's going to happen next, your brain is not anticipating the next moment, you're present, then you're in no time. And that's the moment you disinvest all of your attention and energy out of the three-dimensional reality, off the known, and now you're looking for some unknown experience, and you're passing through the eye of the needle as pure consciousness. Where you place your attention is where you place your, now the unknown is where possibility exists. That's where all the possibilities exist. And they begin to relax into their heart, into the present moment, and they're shutting off all the survival centers in the body. Come on, are you with me still? And when they can relax into the present moment like that, and they're no longer thinking about their sexuality or their sexual identity, they're no longer thinking about guilt or shame or unworthiness or victimization, they're not interested in control and importance and power and anger and aggression. They stop thinking and feeling all those chemicals. Energy is naturally going to move right into the heart. When energy moves into the heart, then the body can relax into a light state where it's no longer in survival. And once energy makes it to the heart, we have the technology, we've measured this. When you drop into your heart and relax into your heart, the more you relax into your heart, the more energy moves into your brain. And so then the heart then, when you begin to relax into it, actually sends information to the brain, like taking a big sheet and going like that. When the heart gets coherent, it sends energy to the brain, tells the brain, the trauma's over, the past is over. It resets the baseline immediately, emotionally, in the amygdala for the trauma. The heart's telling the brain it's over, get creative. And the brain just moves into this coherent wave of alpha, the creative state, the imaginary state, and the heart is telling the brain to dream, to imagine of a new possibility. You feel that emotion, you can see possibilities you could never see before, because if you were feeling the emotions of the past, you could only see those possibilities. Come on, are you with me still? And people have actually said to themselves, what if I could heal? Like, what if I could heal? Like, I feel it. Like, I feel like I could heal. And they started believing in that. That was the feeling they were after. Or generating abundance, you're stepping towards your success. Now, the moment you're in love with yourself and in love with life and you see beauty in all things, it's natural that you'll attract an equal. So this is when the synchronicities, this is when the opportunities, this is when the coincidences, all of a sudden you no longer have to go anywhere and do anything. Somehow there's an attraction, they're coming to you. They're coming to you without having to do anything. Behind every substance addiction is an emotional addiction. The person's innate desire to regulate their emotions. We've just been programmed to rely on something outside of us to take away that feeling inside of us. And the moment we notice the change inside of us, we pay attention to what causes it, and we become dependent on it or addicted to it. The emotion left the body and went back as energy into the brain. Of course, there would be no addiction. The emotion changed in that moment when she moved that energy. And of course, it wasn't like she had to try to all of a sudden abstain. It was over. It was over. There was no withdrawal. She was just, the body was freed from the past. It just got the upgrade.
Our data says on our fMRI studies, you keep opening your awareness to space, there's less modulation or compartmentalization in the brain. The brain is less siloed, it's more integrated, it's more whole. The act of you opening your awareness to space and to nothing, and then adding the factor that it's frequency and energy, and add your understanding of that to enhance your experience, or it's pure consciousness, or there's infinite possibilities, somehow that information is integrated into your biology. That's what our data shows. You can be 15 years old, or you can be 92 years old. And yet, there's information in there that wasn't in there before, and I keep asking the scientists, where is that information coming from? It's coming from within you. It's coming from your interaction with information that exists beyond your senses.
If the quantum field is an invisible field of energy that exists beyond our senses, beyond our body, our environment, and time, then the only way we are going to connect to it is to take all of our attention off our body, all of our attention off the environment, and take all of your attention off of linear time, the predictable future and the familiar past, and find the sweet spot of the generous present moment. That's the unknown. That's the door. That's the moment you become nobody, no one, no thing, nowhere, no time. That is the moment you are pure consciousness. Consciousness of what? Nothing. Nothing but what? You. And the act of becoming conscious of nothing and becoming nobody, no one, no thing, nowhere, and no time is the eye of the needle. And that is the moment you're walking through the door to the quantum field. And when you walk through that door, the game changes. It's all energy. The next thing we have to do then is get our brain coherent, because thought is the electrical charge, is the impulse in the quantum field. And the feeling, the elevated emotion, is the magnetic charge. You take a thought and a feeling, an image and an emotion, a vision of the future with a coherent brain and a coherent heart, you got a whole new Wi-Fi signal. Now you're broadcasting new information into the field, and you're connected to this field. Keep changing the information in the field, you're going to change the destiny of your experience and matter. What your future is going to feel like before it's made manifest. And don't get up until you feel that way. Now, practice that for a few days, and then see if you can stay in that state and watch all of a sudden all those weird doors start opening for you. Synchronicities, whatever they are. Number two, take up time at the end of your day. Before you lay down, and give thanks for your life. And feel gratitude. Gratitude means you're getting something. So gratitude is the ultimate state of receiving. So then people only accept, believe, and surrender to the thoughts equal to their emotional state. So if you're in a state of gratitude, every thought's going to make it right down into your body. If you're saying, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy, and your body's programmed in negativity, it's saying, no, you're not, no, you're not, no, you're not, thought's going to stop right here. So as you elevate your state, there are about 1,200 different chemical reactions that go on in the body that begin to restore and repair the body in a state of gratitude. And so we've done the research to prove that. 10 minutes and just feel it with all of your heart. That's it.
Wow.
Third thing, and very important, take time, whenever it is, sit down, close your eyes, and begin to just open your awareness to the space around you and just sense it and pay attention to it and become more aware of it. The act of opening your awareness begins to reduce the stress hormones and creates more coherent brainwave states. I'm doing it right now, and it's just a practice.
Yeah.
It's just a practice. Teach your body emotionally.
And get ready the moment you decide to make a different choice. I don't care what habit or what belief or what emotion you want to change. The moment you say, I'm not going to complain, I'm not going to judge, I'm not going to make excuses, I'm not going to feel sorry for myself. 5% of the conscious mind, yeah, let's go. 95% says, it'll last 10 minutes. We just need a little traffic, we just need a little scrolling, whatever. He'll just default right back to that character again. And all of a sudden, the war's gonna begin. Body's gonna tell the mind, you're a loser. You'll never change, it didn't work last time. You know what? I want you to know that's when you give up on you. I want you to know that's the end of your belief right there. Because the belief then that people have is, I can't meditate. They say, I can't do this, it's too hard. and they excuse themselves from change. And if you believe in that thought, you accept that thought, you surrender to that thought without analyzing it, it slips by your awareness, you're going to make the same choice. You're going to demonstrate the same behavior. You're going to create the same experience, feel the same emotion, and then people say, oh, this feels right. This feels right to me. No, that feels familiar. Going from the old self to the new self, there is a neurological, there is a biological, there's a chemical, there's a hormonal, there's a genetic death of the old self. A part of you must die. Do you understand that? And it is uncomfortable. Because the moment you decide to make a different choice, you're stepping from the known into the unknown. And the body wants nothing to do with that. It wants to cling to the familiar. And it tries to convince the brain there is no future. Come on, are you with me? And that's when people give up on themselves, and that becomes their habit. I want you to sit in the fire, and I want you to be curious. Do you really want to believe that thought any longer? I want you to get so conscious of that I can, it's too hard, I'll never change, that you would never go unconscious to that thought again in your life. Are you listening? And get ready. The moment you decide to make a different choice, I don't care what habit or what belief or what emotion you want to change. The moment you say, I'm not going to complain, I'm not going to judge, I'm not going to make excuses, I'm not going to feel sorry for myself. 5% of the conscious mind, yeah, let's go. 95% says, it'll last 10 minutes. We just need a little traffic, we just need a little scrolling, whatever. He'll just default right back to that character again. And all of a sudden, the war is going to begin. Body's going to tell the mind, you're a loser. You'll never change. It didn't work last time. You know what? I want you to know that's when you give up on you. I want you to know that's the end of your belief right there. Because the belief then that people have is, I can't meditate. They say, I can't do this, it's too hard. And they excuse themselves from change. And if you believe in that thought, you accept that thought, you surrender to that thought without analyzing it, it slips by your awareness, you're going to make the same choice. You're going to demonstrate the same behavior. You're going to create the same experience, feel the same emotion, and then people say, oh, this feels right. This feels right to me. No, that feels familiar. Going from the old self to the new self, there is a neurological, there is a biological, there's a chemical, there's a hormonal, there's a genetic death of the old self. A part of you must die. Do you understand that? And it is uncomfortable. Because the moment you decide to make a different choice, you're stepping from the known into the unknown. And the body wants nothing to do with that. It wants to cling to the familiar. And it tries to convince the brain there is no future. Come on, are you with me? And that's when people give up on themselves, and that becomes their habit. I want you to sit in the fire, and I want you to be curious. Do you really want to believe that thought any longer? I want you to get so conscious of that I can, it's too hard, I'll never change, that you would never go unconscious to that thought again in your life. Are you listening?